What do a millennial and a pastor from Gen X have in common? Not much, but they love the Lord and they love life. Join us as Justin and Sam look at the lighter side of Bible, church, and life with Making Light of It. And welcome back to another episode of Making Light of It. It is episode number 5, which... Cinco. Actually knew that one, and I almost said it by myself because it's Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Well, as you should.
As I should, right? But
it's like a second birthday for you.
It's not like I'm getting Taco Bell or something, or I'm getting like a Spanish food. I'm going to get some authentic Mexican tacos.
Are you really?
Yeah.
So here's the catch. Cinco de Mayo is on a Sunday.
Yeah.
You have youth group meetings on Sunday
So you know what that means, right?
Walking tacos.
Walking tacos all day. They're going to love it.
They are. Well, they have no choice.
They have no choice, yeah.
So walking tacos is a relatively new thing out there.
Yeah.
It's only a couple years old. I saw a walking taco truck just down the road the other day.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
You didn't tell me?
No, I didn't tell you. Well, it was at, what is that place down the road? Anyways, there was a bunch of old people out there, and there was already a line. So
okay. Well, yeah.
But
Let them get their fun.
I didn't know it was good enough you could create a truck out of it. It doesn't seem like something so simple.
It does seem like, but why make it when you can go get it?
Good story.
You know, it's right there. I don't have to get my hands dirty.
If they have plates.
If they're anything like a walking taco, it's got to be in like a bag of something.
Right. So... No plates.
No plates. No need. Cut down on cost. It's probably cheaper.
It's probably cheaper.
I don't know.
So this is. Let me lead in with this. I think we have a good thing going, right?
Sure.
We're enjoying it. We're now into our 5th episode.
So far, we
haven't been canceled.
So far.
Who knows how far this is going to go? Apparently, we can only go as far as your Spanish, which I just recently learned in a pre-cut here. So, I want to share a little story with you.
Okay. I like stories.
I'm a year old.
Okay.
Life is good.
Life is good.
It's really good. I have all the attention of my parents, my grandparents love me. It's just an amazing experience.
Yeah.
If I want a toy to play with, I play with the toy.
Yeah.
And if I want a banana for breakfast, I get the banana. Right? Life is good.
Yeah.
And 12 months, 13 months, and then everything changed at 14 months. And I'm about to give you the experience of a life-altering experience here.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing on our very first guest, and I'm actually giving you the grace to tell you about what's to happen, because I don't think my parents told me when this guy came along. My little brother, Seth, is now coming in on the program. Ooh. Seth, all the way from, where are you coming in from today?
So Joliet, Illinois is where I live.
Joliet, Illinois is where he lives. Everyone give a big round of applause. Joliet, Illinois. Yes,
sounds very pretty.
The guy who officially ruined my only child life.
Hey, somebody had to do it.
No one had to do it. That's the thing. No one had to do it. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see that Justin and I have earpieces in, and my brother's displayed up on the television. And then we keep looking over at the camera because he's sitting out right in front of that. So that's kind of where we're going. Seth, welcome in.
It's an honor to be, truly an honor to be the first guest. You know, to be the first brother.
Yep.
I get to be the first guest. That's what an honor.
It is an honor for you, isn't it?
Come on in here. Your life will be better because of this. As it became better because of me.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know about that. There's so many baby pictures. I'm not happy, but he's smiling all the time. He's just all good to go.
It's a different joy.
I'm actually really happy to have my brother on. You're going to see, one, if you're listening to it, aside from the audio issues, we do sound a little bit alike.
Yeah.
Okay. We do look a little bit alike.
A little bit,
but
yeah.
I did get blessed with the height and the looks and everything, and then it all just kind of trickled down from there. So he has to deal with the leftovers.
It's like that movie Big. Not Big. Oh, is it Twins?
Twins.
You got a lot. I got a little bit of whatever was left over.
That's great.
And then we won't even mention our other siblings.
We won't talk about the other two who got some combination of the both.
We won't put them on blast right now unless they can defend themselves. But you'll see in the pictures, my brother has a glorious beard, and he does quite well with the beard. I'm very familiar with my brother. You're not so familiar. You've met him before.
Not as familiar with him. I think I met him once, and that was just a meet and greet, and
just like, hey,
kind of move on. Right. I'm pretty sure it was close to a holiday or maybe a day that you preach. So
yeah. So most of the time when my brother comes out here, there's the whole family's here.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
anytime he comes out to the East Coast, the rest of the family's East Coast. So my family my house turns into like a zoo.
Yeah, you have a big family.
I do have a big family. We got big families. My brother has my two beautiful nieces. I absolutely love seeing them, and they are just spitting images of their parents.
That's great.
So I love when they're able to come out here. But yeah, man. So we talked a little bit before about your podcasting experience, and this is the first one.
Well, if it gets released, I think this will be the first one that I get to be on. So if you decide afterwards, then,
It sounded like a big if.
It's happened before.
It's a whole lot of hoping and praying. So what I did notice, so in preparation of this, like if you haven't been on a podcast, you haven't done it before, there's certain things, certain elements you have to do.
Yeah.
One of the big elements is obviously laying out your toys.
Yeah,
you want to
for
show
sure.
everyone
That's
off, and you
huge.
got your little trinkets.
Major.
And I have my trinkets. And the moment my brother came on camera, one of the first things we noticed
First thing is it.
he's got a lot of the same toys that I got.
That's right.
So let's
Still
talk
sharing
about
toys.
let's talk about your displays a little bit because I want to go through that. Yeah, you can
Well, these
show.
are just a few of the items that I have in my office. That while I'm in the office, these are some things I have. At home, I have some more things. But I had seen your podcast and said, hey, I see you've got that on there. I've got that in my office. I've got that.
That's great.
And so yeah, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. I had to bring on the trinkets.
So pick two of them
Yeah.
and tell us about two of them.
Well,
You're gonna have to
the
describe them
tractor.
to remember it's a podcast.
I have to show first the John Deere tractor.
Mm-hmm.
That is something near and dear. And in fact, I believe the trinkets came from our Grandpa Rempel, Grandpa
Mm-hmm.
John, who in his office always had John Deere tractors. People would give him all kinds of John Deere tractors. And so that is probably the most favorite thing. I think that one actually came from Grandpa's office.
Yeah.
And then my dad also got us a tractor in memory when Grandpa passed. He got us a tractor. So that is something that I always have in my office.
Is that's the one that came from Grandpa's office?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have that one in a very special box, so it doesn't collect on it. This one is the hand-me-down from Dad. I have Grandpa's tractor, but you'll see we have John Deere tractors. Our grandfather's name was John, so
It goes well with the.
I'm guessing Grandma called him John Deere.
Yeah, gotta be.
And that's how it worked out. So you also have another one in the back behind the scenes that is very similar to what I have in front of me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I've got the bison. This is kind of funny how we both kind of started getting into bison about the same time without ever talking about it. And then one day, I think you mentioned something, and I was going out and I was going to see some bison, and we just started talking. It was just one of those crazy things. So, and I've talked about bison a few times when I've had the opportunity to preach, and some different people have gotten me some different bison items. So those are some.
It's a
and of
throwback.
course, I got a little bit of sports teams, Captain America, those kinds of things.
Yeah, you have terrible taste in sports teams, but we'll get into
I
that a
was
little
gonna
bit
say, I
later.
know you don't love my sports teams.
If this was a sports podcast, we'd be throwing it down on
Oh
that.
my.
But, yeah, so throwback to
Can't
episode
wait.
3. If you haven't heard episode 3 yet, you want to go back to it, and that'll tell you a little bit why the bison are pretty significant here. So I think we'll just jump into it. Eventually, you guys will hear Justin. He'll talk. But,
I'll be here.
Brothers get together. Brothers talk a lot. But I do want to jump into our food for thought for the day. And the topic that I picked in the scriptures and everything have to do with encouragement. Because it plays so much into the personality of my brother. Like he is an encourager. Like when you're around him, you're just lifted up.
Uplifting,
And
yeah.
like so he's a pastor out there in Joliet, and he's probably one of the most people person pastors. Like he just loves on people, and people love on him, and he's such an encourager. So I wanted to kind of spend some time on that. So just blowing you up a little bit there, brother. So the founder of Walmart, Sam Walton, who is a professing believer,
Okay.
put this quote out there about encouragement. He said, "Nothing else can quite substitute for a few well-chosen, well-timed, sincere words of praise." He said they're absolutely free and worth a fortune.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's
Powerful.
1,000%. I mean, we're all sports. Like the two, we play sports growing up. My brother played sports growing up. Mayor Rob has played sports growing up.
Yep.
And how many? Like, it doesn't matter how you played. What do you really want at the end of the game? You want it.
You want that encouragement. You want that attaboy.
An
Good
attaboy.
job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to hear something encouraging and positive as to what you did, what you accomplished.
That's exactly
Even
it.
if you accomplished maybe little.
Right.
Make that little feel like everything.
Something to hang your hat on. I've gotten plenty of the opposites of attaboys.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Going through. And unfortunately, I think as believers in the church, far too often, we default to criticism instead of defaulting to encouragement. And before I get any further, I shared with you, or you got your Bible out.
Yeah, I got my Bible here, paper.
The 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, 11 through 12.
Chapter 2, 11 through 12, and it reads, "For you know how, like a father with his children, we exhorted each one of you, and encouraged you, and charged you to walk in a manner worthy of God, who calls you into his own kingdom and glory."
So, like, he called them out, Paul calls them out and encourages them. And listen, we all want to know where our faults are.
Yeah.
Like, if you really want to grow and improve, you need to know
what
areas to improve. The Christian life is no different than that. But it doesn't stop.
No.
It's all about
an ongoing thing. It's an
the
ongoing
encouragement.
process.
And so, we go into like the finding the speck in your brother's eye versus, all that. So all these things, like, we're just so quick to see what's wrong with people. We need to be more intent on finding what's right in people, I think.
And I like how he puts it, how he starts, "For you know how like a father with his children." Now, for me nowadays, that takes a way different perspective, right? As a kid, I didn't fully understand it to the capacity I can now as a father. Like, I can, as much wrong as I can find about children, I can find no wrong, right? So I'm going to encourage them. I'm going to love them. I'm going to, as much as they do wrong, I'm going to encourage them to do better and be a better version of me, or be, better than what they can imagine that they could be.
Yes.
So, yeah, like a father with his children. Imagine that.
Yeah. Like, a good father, obviously, it's right now. There's people out there who don't quite have that.
Yes.
John Maxwell once called encouragement oxygen for the soul.
Oxygen.
And I love that picture. Like, you need... Yeah.
Now I can keep going.
You get it. And it does.
Yeah.
It does. So we're all married. Like, when your wife says, "Good job," woo!
Yeah, nothing better, right?
I'm ready for the week, man.
Right, yeah, that's
she
right.
gives me a little pat on the back or the back end, you know what I mean? I'm ready to go. Like, I'm flying on cloud 9. All right? So, and when you call it, like, oxygen for the soul, like, how long can you go without oxygen?
Not that long at all.
Literally, how long?
Maybe like 25 seconds.
Really? You can't make it to...
You told me to put a number on it. That could be more.
He's going to hold
his
his breath. You to count. It should make for interesting. We're going right now. It makes for terrible podcast, but for us, it'd be very entertaining. He's really fighting it right now. Are you breathing through your nose?
He really is. It's really he's staying focused on it.
Just don't turn blue, Dustin.
Talking, then he can keep
He's holding the
not
paper.
breathing.
I really have no
It's like
idea
when you
when
go
the
through
timer
tunnel
started.
and you try to hold your breath.
Oh yeah, is that old wives' tale, going through a tunnel holding your breath?
Hey, that's what we try to do. When we come to visit you guys, we go through 2 really big tunnels
Out in Pennsylvania. Yep.
Yeah, and I've realized the older I get, the harder it is for me to hold my breath.
You might have made 35 seconds.
35. See, I told you I could do more. I guestimated.
So
New record.
Yeah. You're not going to make it as a deep dive career. He's done. Like, he's toast now.
Ooh, I'm hot. I'm hot.
So just to keep going on to the encouragement, every single person around needs words of affirmation. We need sincere praise, like sincere encouragement. We need to hear apologies when people have wounded us. That's another part, I think, of encouragement. We need constructive feedback, not condemnation.
Yeah.
We need constructive feedback. We need a smile. So, and that's another reason. When I think of my brother, I think of his smile. Like, so, like, look at that. So you can see it right there. His smile. Everyone run to YouTube right now. Look at his smile and his laugh. I love his laugh. It's so good. But that's what all the people in his church get every Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's
that
awesome.
smile and that laugh.
It's special.
It is something great. Like, have you ever just, like, so you got a coffee at Wawa, Mayor Rob, right?
Yes, I did. I did.
Was there someone out there asking for change?
Not today.
Okay, not today, but almost always.
Almost.
So as I'm walking in, the easy thing to do to avoid them is to do what? Look down, look away, look at your
go
phone.
to the other entrance, maybe.
Bizarro word, I'm telling everyone out there listening, smile at them.
Yeah.
Smile.
Give them
Just
a smile.
smile. Acknowledge them.
Yeah, that's
and if
sometimes
you
that's
got
all
a
they
couple
need.
quarters, throw them a couple quarters
Definitely.
too. But we should be constantly, like, encouraging other people. And I know some people are like, man, like, no one, like, don't be the one, like, you shouldn't have to wait for someone to encourage you before you move on to encourage someone else.
Right.
Like, it's a catchy.
Shouldn't be an I'll encourage someone if someone encourages me. It's like, no, I'm going to encourage someone even if I don't get encouraged, because even that encouragement that you're giving to someone else might encourage you a little bit. Like
That's 1,000%. Like, a smile is contagious. It'll move on.
Very.
And the same thing is
And it's so hard sometimes when you think about encouragement, like, oh, I should have done that. I should have, like, and you know what I try to do. Someone told me a long time ago. When someone asks you to pray for them, like, pray for them right then and there, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't wait, right? And then the same with encouragement. Hey, if you think a good thought about somebody, share that with them.
Yeah.
Because how often do we just like, oh, that's awkward, that's whatever. Like, but when you receive a kind word, you receive an encouragement, how much that means to you, and if you feel that about somebody else, like, hey, let me actually say that, speak some life, like you said, give somebody some oxygen, and it gets them through some interesting times in their lives. And this verse, when we talk about the father deals with his own children, as a father, I think about how I deal with my kids. I'm not always encouraging. I can find the wrong and tell them what they did or didn't do right.
Right.
But and for a lot of people who grow up with not great fathers, right, not great examples of that, like, just that reminder, that encouragement, like, hey, a good father is going to encourage you, he's going to exhort you, he's going to urge you on, and help you to live a godly life, right? And so just as we want to be good physical fathers, spiritual fathers, good examples, to encourage, like, is that reminder, that exhortation reminder to me again, like, okay, yeah, this is important for us to do, and the example that we should be setting.
Yeah, I like that. Like, if you think about it, do it. Same thing. Like, if you're going to say you're going to pray someone, do it right there in the moment. And that's awkward in and of itself. But you never know what your word is going to mean to that person. Especially
if God's giving you that opportunity right then and there, what's stopping you? Why not take advantage of that? He might work right there,
Yeah.
And you could be putting off somebody.
There is story after story after story of people whose perspective on a situation has changed, be it from serious to not so serious, just because someone took the time to encourage them.
Yeah.
And it's subtle little things, and I've run into it in my own life, and I've heard from people be like, remember when you said blah blah blah? I'm like, no. Not was that me? Surely you jest.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like, it definitely was not this guy.
Even with you, you're my friend, but you're also my boss. And when you give me an encouragement, man, that makes me feel like I'm the best youth leader I could be in that moment. Until
I'm glad to hear that.
until I get in the rough again, and then like you're there, like the encouragement, it makes a huge difference.
I try to be intentional about that in most situations, like especially when you come in from a leadership perspective and a discipleship perspective. One of your roles is to point out areas in their life that need to be fixed.
Yeah.
So what do they say? If you're coming with a negative, like they say, any conversation, lead with the positives, right?
Yeah.
And even more so, I think, on a spiritual realm, and really what I can say for anyone who's listening, like, your day-to-day might not involve other believers. Guess what? You can encourage non-believers.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my goodness.
You could be that light in the office that they could just let them sit there and be like, why is he so giddy all the time? What's he so happy for? Why is he always smiling?
Right.
What's so different about him that I don't have?
Yeah. It's
let the conversation
start.
start.
That's the whole premise of our podcast. Be light.
Be
light. Make light of it. Like, that's where we're going. 1 Thessalonians 5:11, you got that one, just a page or two over, right?
A page away, 5:11. And it reads, therefore, encourage one another and build one another up, just as you are doing.
Right. He's like, so basically, he's writing to this church. He's saying, I get a gist that you're doing something right. Don't stop.
Don't stop, yeah.
Don't stop.
Encouraging. I like how we did that together.
Yeah, look at that. Seth, I noticed you're silent on that one, so maybe you only use some Christian songs, I guess.
Well, I was trying to sing a duet with you on there, but you couldn't really hear it. I was singing so low. I had a solo.
Okay, you're bringing the bass line in there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mayor Rob's like, I heard that on a commercial once.
Believe it or not, I believe Mayor Rob is a big Journey fan.
Mayor Rob, are you a Journey fan?
Oh, I did. I actually saw them. I didn't get to see the main singer, but
Saw them?
I saw them at Atlantic City.
Well, I've seen pictures too, but you went to an actual concert?
I did.
You vibing out there, you and the 60-year-old ladies out there?
No ladies.
Tell me, I know you went to that concert with your parents.
No, actually, no, with a friend from work.
All right, how old was he?
Yeah, a couple years older. Yeah.
He was a genuine fan of Journey, is what we're saying.
It makes you feel any better. I went with my dad. It was my 10th
There you
birthday.
go. I think that's how it is.
It was the best thing ever. Still got the drumstick.
You got a drumstick from
Yep.
Journey?
So because one of the 50-year-old ladies that were there were part of the VIP
Couldn't
club.
catch it.
Well, that too. But she was so impressed that this little 10-year-old boy knew every single word to a Journey song or a Journey like concert at that.
Right.
So she was so impressed. She gave me the VIP thingy and she brought me up to the stage, asked for a stick, got a picture. I got a picture with it.
No.
I'll have to send it to you.
way.
I got it at home. Yeah,
That-
it was
so
awesome.
it's authenticated.
It's got all the the ridges in it from playing "Don't Stop Believing" so much.
Yeah, I'm sure. Because
Any way you want it, all that,
That's a heavy drum song.
you can smack it hard, man.
Oh, I love it. All right, so we learned a couple things.
There are a few things here that's
Journey,
really interesting.
Journey drumstick. Any last words on words of encouragement? No. Okay.
No.
I'll take it.
We've covered it.
Silence is deadly.
Deadly, very
when
deadly.
it comes to the podcast. So I know you ahead of time have a question prepared for my brother.
Yeah, I do. I had two, and I narrowed it down to one. I think that this one is a good story type of question that will give maybe a funny story. Seth, what is your favorite memory with Sam? It could be from any age range of your life, but your favorite memory from those years.
Oh, that's a very loaded question there, because there are multiple, obviously, great memories. One of my best and worst memories with my brother happened at the same time, and that was a lot of fun, but also kind of traumatizing a little bit.
This is a great lead in here. All right,
This is what I'm looking for.
I'm curious. What's gonna be?
Between two stories, like, is it like an actual childhood story, or a couple of years back, Samuel and I, we got to go to Atlanta and spend a week together, which is something we'd never been able to spend just alone time together.
Yeah.
Like, growing up in a family, 4 kids, like, he talks about, what do you know before the age of 1, 4 or 18 months.
It was
really remember that?
the best
Right.
of times. Literally, I can make a mess of my pants and I didn't have to deal with
You didn't have to deal with it.
It was a good year.
Never remember, and you never remember that you did that.
Maybe. All right, keep going.
So that was probably one of the funnest, best memories I have with Samuel. But also the one that just kind of comes to my mind is, we played sports. I heard you guys talking about playing sports, right? We played basketball growing up. Justin, I heard you play baseball.
Yeah.
We also played baseball,
Yes.
and we had this great. We weren't great, but
We weren't terrible.
We had this connection, and we loved playing baseball. Baseball was the fun sport that you just played for fun. You played with your friends, you did, and our team always had the most fun. Like, we'd go up against some of these schools and competitive towns, and they would get so mad at us because we're just having fun out there on the field.
That's great.
And we were actually doing pretty decent. So, but one of the highlights I had, like, our first time, we grew up small town Connecticut, playing baseball, and we had the chance to play under the lights at a college stadium. Never before had done that. Never before had been able to be on a college stadium under the lights. We always played day games with no lights,
Right.
and
I
real
like
dugouts, like, you have to walk down into the dugout.
That's awesome.
And so the best memory, like, I'm playing catcher, Samuel's pitching, just amazing memory. And that lasted all of, like, the first half of the inning.
Wait for it. I know exactly where he's going.
It's kind of a rough start. We're kind of shaky. The nerves are on. This team is really good, and we're decent. But so he's having a rough start, and we're down
I don't think we need
runs.
to. No one needs to know that.
I like the detail. Attention to detail is my favorite.
So I can actually say something.
True story. True story.
So, anyways, we're getting close. I'm like, we finally got 2 outs. This batter's up, hits a pop fly. I go chasing after it, throw my mask off, go chasing after it. I hear out of play, the ball hits my glove, and next thing you know, I'm falling into the dugout. The opposing team's dugout, where I landed, hit my head, and required a few stitches.
Yeah.
So,
And an ambulance
fun
ride.
memory, great memory, traumatic. Last time I
Dramatic.
not that I didn't attempt to afterwards, but after that, it just kind of was like, you get older, you try to work, all this stuff.
For sure.
That was one of the highlights. Like, I'm playing a sport with my brother. We're under the lights, college stadium, just
Dude.
an awesome experience.
Yeah.
And, like,
It was
energy
epic for
was
an
up.
inning.
That sounds awesome.
It was jacked.
That is great.
And then,
I played 2/3 of an inning.
yeah, I watched my
You
brother
busted
get
it open.
sent off in an ambulance.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm still on the mound.
Were you still
I
pitched
still
after that? You
pitched.
didn't
Yeah,
leave?
hardcore. I pitched.
How
yeah.
did you do? Do you
Got
remember?
it. So I did probably okay for a couple innings, and then my arm was dead.
Yeah.
It was just done.
Yeah.
I was just done. Like mentally fatigued. Like everything was just fatigued. I think I probably lasted another 2 innings. I really don't know how much longer I went. But then all I remember is like I'm pitching a throw. I'm sure I've told you this. I'm pitching as hard as I can, and my coach calls the timeout. Why are you throwing curveballs? I'm like, brother, I'm bringing heat here. I was so toast. I couldn't get that ball in there.
You're lobbing it in there.
So he calls me out and puts me in center field.
Ugh.
Now, I'm not going to be able to throw that ball in there.
Rainbow in it.
First hit while I'm out there. First hit straight to center field. I rainbowed that ball in there. I know we're losing everyone who's a sports fan.
He said, my brother's in an ambulance right now. I'm just doing whatever.
I don't really need to be
Life is
here.
rough, okay?
It was crazy. Now, to be fair, I've seen my brother take multiple ambulance rides, and we could have a whole nother podcast on that. So this was not a first-time thing. It was not a new thing. It's always come back. So I had a feeling it would come back.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
So in the spirit of sport, this podcast is being aired we just had last weekend the NFL draft.
Yes.
And we are big sports fans. I'm a huge Chiefs fan, back-to-back chips, looking for a third one. You're an Eagles fan.
Yep, I bleed green.
Which is going to really play well to our our target audience.
Yeah.
And then my brother, I don't know if I should let him tell us who's.
Now, I need to know if anything.
Okay, you can ask him.
What's your team, bud?
My favorite team is the New England Patriots.
New England Patriots. Okay, I can respect
we just
that.
lost Mayor Rob. He just fainted.
Mayor Rob's done.
Mayor Rob's an Eagles guy. Right?
Viewership just dropped off.
We lost everything.
As a Red Sox fan, I can't be upset.
Right, yeah. So,
And because we didn't lose to them the
appreciate that
last time we
that.
played them, it's fair game. It's good. We're good.
That-
We're on a
that's-
good level.
Yes, we did not complete that pass that your quarterback did.
That's right.
Catch. So, I grew up. Commanders were my first team.
Yep.
Redskins first
Yes.
team. Growing up in Connecticut, hating New York, that was pretty easy to go for the Patriots and just to watch them become something when they were nothing.
Right.
And, now I get to be an adult seeing them become nothing again. It's great.
it's full circle.
The hope of the NFL draft, right? Like, let's go.
That's the
Right.
life of a Red Sox fan too. Trust me, I'm with you. Don't worry.
My brother's always been a little anti with the whole family. You could survey the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single one in the crew is going to say any of his teams. Like he's a Celtics fan.
He found out one day he was able to choose for himself, and he chose for himself.
He found out very early.
Very early.
When I was
Well,
14
good for
months
him.
old. He decided,
I wish I learned
we
earlier.
we share several teams in common. We all like the Kansas City Royals.
We do like
Okay.
the Royals, yeah. So we got that.
like the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Nebraska
football,
Cornhuskers, that's true.
and we like UConn Huskies basketball.
UConn Huskies,
that's
that's
a
another
recent one,
throwback
yeah.
a couple weeks back. So what did you think of the draft for your team this past weekend, Seth?
I mean, to think about that one guy they got from that college. Man, I think he's gonna do pretty awesome.
I think
I
he's.
don't know about your guys' teams. I didn't really pay much attention to your guys' team, but everybody always likes what your picks are.
Yeah, we had a great pick in the later rounds. I think he's going to really help us bring the third chip in. And the Eagles, did they botch the first round again?
Well, that's typically what they like to do, and then they try to make it exciting like late in the season.
And did they make the draft exciting?
Well,
for you?
they got that guy.
They got that guy.
So if they got that guy, then they're going to be good.
Game changer.
But definitely could have been another guy.
So in light, go ahead.
I know our teams usually like to make trades out of picks or
That's true.
trade up and to draft a guy and then trade him a year later for like a 6th or 7th round draft pick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens.
This is a unique year for the Patriots going into sports because without Belichick, you've had forever.
Yeah,
So
that's gonna be different.
That coach and the draft they just did was very interesting.
Yeah.
So interesting.
He looked like he'd been there
See
before.
all those pieces come together.
It is so it'll be a great thing. So in light of the NFL draft, in honor of the NFL draft, we're going to have our own draft.
Oh, let's do
now,
it.
this I am stealing directly from one of my favorite podcasts, the Spitballers. They usually do a draft at the end of things. So I'm bringing my brother in, and so we're going to do our own draft. We are going to draft movies from our childhood. Movies from our childhood. And this, so you listening, you get to participate in this. One, you're going to shoot us an email. What movies did we miss? What movies
Yeah.
but most important, we need to know who won this draft.
Yes,
We are trying
please.
to win this draft. We're trying to. You have 4 movies. So basically, we're telling people you have a weekend. We're giving you 4 movies to sit down with your family. These are the 4 movies. Which 4-pack would you pick? And we're going to do this in a draft, a snake draft style. Since my brother Seth is the guest, we're going to let him have the first pick. I don't think there's a 101, like an absolute number 1 pick in this, but I could be wrong.
I don't know.
And
It's
then
tough.
I'm going to let Justin go second. So you're in the middle. You have a unique position there.
Yeah.
And then I'm going last. And Mayor Rob's going to keep track of this so we can. If you're listening to this podcast, you'll be able to go on to our socials and you'll be able to see these lists.
Definitely.
All right, brother Seth, you have the first,
begin?
not just the first pick. You have the first pick of the first draft that we're ever doing.
Ever.
So
The first overall official draft pick in
of
this
ever.
Making Light of It podcast.
Yeah.
Like, this is
It's
what
a-
an honor, guys.
it's a dream
Big
come
honor.
true.
Be the first.
I can see.
I tell you what, that is a trophy that nobody can take away from me.
Should
No,
get him something.
not at all. Assuming it airs.
Should make him a Word document.
Assuming it goes on.
Assuming we'll send you
I
a
will
little
make my
trophy
own
for
trophy
your
Yeah.
your chest. Yeah,
regardless
A little
of
Word document
if it goes or
certificate.
not.
a
And of course,
certificate.
it's interesting that you would pick a movie category, knowing our childhood, knowing what we didn't really watch a lot of movies.
Right.
We definitely didn't go to movies.
We never went to movies
so this
because
was
that was of the devil
kinda-
when we were growing up.
yeah that and in fact one of those movies that I went to as a child. We'll see if I get the chance to pick it or not. I don't know. There's a lot of really good movies, and the parameters are kind of wide because Justin, I know you're a little younger than us.
Yeah, just a little.
So,
But he is an old soul.
But our-
Like I knew he was
yeah.
an old soul,
Dude.
so it kind of
I mean,
plays
he
out.
likes Journey, so he is an old soul.
Hey, I
There you
like
go.
Air Supply
He's got
too.
that going on there.
So so my first overall pick, it's a movie I love. I think I don't think it will come back to me, and so I'm picking it number 1. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original movie, the
Oh,
very first one.
TMNT, the
Yes,
original.
the very first one from 1990.
Oh,
We grew up. I don't have one of my Ninja Turtle figures
Yeah.
here, but we grew up with Ninja Turtles, watching
Yes.
the Ninja Turtle show,
Yep.
watching the cartoon, and just growing up with that. The characters, the different figures that we had.
Yeah.
I'm Raphael.
yes, he is.
Big,
Yep.
huge Raphael fan, and so
Raphael is
Ninja
cool but
Turtles-
rude. I don't know if anyone would call you rude, but
Yeah.
This that movie,
yes,
it did well.
It was-
to merge from the cartoon to
Yeah.
live action. Whatever you call
that's
it.
true. That would be what you consider first live action, right? Because no one was
Yeah.
doing it back
Yeah.
then. That you took my
That is
number
a
one
good.
pick.
That is a good pick.
1,000%. You took my number
That's
one pick.
awesome.
It
That's
would
you
not have
must be
made it back
brothers.
to you at all. It's one of the best. Just so everyone's clear, I'm Donatello, and our
Okay.
brother Sean was Leonardo. So that's how
Nice.
we rolled out. And Michelangelo was sitting out there, kind of tributing to our sister, but she never really got into it. All right, Justin, you have the second pick, and
All right.
the best movie is off the board.
No, there's a lot of movies out there.
there are a lot of movies.
There's a
and
lot of movies. out there.
Go ahead.
The Sandlot.
Oh,
The
great.
Sandlot. That's
Yes,
that
that's
was
on
like
my
a
list.
staple as a kid for me. There's a few scenes in there. I mean, you could go on for probably a while talking about different scenes from
Yeah.
there, but I always think of that one isolated scene. I forget the kid's name, the kid with the glasses at the pool. I believe he's at the pool, and he's like, forever, forever, forever. I'll never get it. Every time I hear the
Oh,
word
my
forever,
goodness.
I just start to instantly just say that.
My favorite scene with that kid is when he just faked the drowning, or he
That was the
drowned.
second
He
one I had
drowned, so
written
the
down.
lifeguard came and saved it, and just the look he's given as he's walking away. Like,
I know what I did.
The best is the Bambino. The, best of that is the
Bambino.
Bambino.
The Bambino,
I love it. That
man.
guy's still making bank.
So
off of
hard to
that.
choose, just like to isolate to a simple or single.
Very
Yeah,
hard.
You know,
1,000%.
scene.
Good choice. Very good.
Thank
choice.
you.
That's a great choice. So I get a snake draft, so I get the third and fourth pick, so I get 2 picks back to back
Well, that
on
works
this one.
out well
Now,
for you.
I think in the spirit of the game, I won't pick this one, but I was going to pick not the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was going to pick the second one. That was going to be my top pick, The Secret of the Ooze, because then we got introduced to Bebop and Rocksteady
Okay.
and Vanilla Ice. Go
Vanilla
Ninja,
Ice,
go
yeah, I
Ninja,
didn't
go
recall that.
Go Ninja. Like you
That's
remember
great.
that? Like it was such a
Yeah,
memorable.
yeah.
But because in the spirit of the draft, I'm just going to leave that one alone. I'll assume you'll take the series. It's one of the few times where I think actually the second one might be better than that.
It might be, but just the revolution of the first one is what I had.
1,000%. I'm with you on that. So I'm going to go, and it's a little different, but this was another revolutionary film in our day. Excellent soundtrack. It has to do with my favorite sport, one of the most entertaining groups or television shows of that time, Space Jam.
Oh, yeah.
Space Jam. Space Jam.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
I was never a Jordan fan.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciated Jordan. But Space Jam, like that movie was unreal.
I think that movie gave me an understanding of who Michael Jordan was.
Yeah,
I wasn't a
1,000%.
big, huge basketball fan, so
Right.
it was all baseball, if anything.
No, Space
That's
Jam.
great.
And the
Space Jam's
soundtrack for Space Jam still pops.
Space
It is.
See the Space Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love- and I'll never.
that soundtrack, that movie, that was just, it was incredible. And that's probably my favorite line from that movie. Has to do with my favorite all-time basketball player, Larry Bird.
Yep.
You know, Larry Bird ain't white; he's clear. You know,
That's great. Love it. Yes.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that. Yes, 1,000%. Yes, that is so good.
Good
That
choice.
is.
Okay,
I
so
like
that's
that one. That was a good
that's my number 3 pick, and I'm
that was a good
I'm
number 3
curious on the number 4. I'm looking at 2 of my choices, and they're both kind of big time movies. I think I'm gonna wait. I think this one will definitely make it back to me. I'm gonna go with something that, again, life changing. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
that from me.
Really,
So
really
good.
one.
I will never ever forget that they're in. Is that on your list?
Yep.
Oh, when they're in the field and they meet with the ant, and then the ant is like their guy.
I had the scene where Nick is in the cereal bowl and he's
Yes,
trying not to
yes,
get eaten by
yes.
his dad.
Such
Such a good movie.
Such a good, yeah. He's like just waving and screaming, and all that guys. Now they really messed that series up. Like the next one, Honey, I Blew Up the Kids. Never,
Totally,
they
yeah.
lost the magic.
That's one you'd kind of
on
just
that.
leave it at a 1.
Yeah,
if
they
you're
should have
not
just
gonna-
stuck
yeah.
it there. So, all right. So I
Darn,
have
good one,
I
man.
have
Good
Space
series there,
Jam
man.
and Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. All right, your second pick, Justin.
All right, so I'm going to go with a good oldie, Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
That's not even on my list. But yeah, it's one of the top
There's
movies all time.
That was I don't the part of the old soul in me. It was very common as a child to see this movie on the TV at
Right.
more common times than not.
Jenny.
Jenny is life was like a box of chocolates. You know, and people say life is like a box of chocolates. Is really life was?
Is
like
that
a
what he
box of
says?
chocolates?
Life was like it
was. And then the run, Forrest, run, Forrest, run.
Run, Forrest, run. Lieutenant Dan. And he's running.
Started, run.
Yeah. He goes,
or,
and then,
or congratulations, how's that make you feel? He's like, I gotta pay.
something jumped up
Such a
and bit
good
me.
scene. Such a good
Such
scene.
a good
I
movie.
don't.
So many
When
quotes.
he just stopped running, he was running forever.
Yeah, and he's like,
Stopped running.
I'm just
I'm
done.
done now.
He stops, turns around. All these people are just like,
I don't think I've ever worked hard at like trying to sound like somebody as I did trying to be like Forrest Gump. Like I
for sure.
put a lot of work into that
He
as a kid.
crushed that one, of course. That's a great, not even on my list. I can't believe that.
I am old.
All right, Seth, your second, you get your second and your third pick coming up.
Okay, so now I get to pick 2. This is where it gets interesting
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many. I mean, you guys have taken a couple off of my list, which I'm not surprised. But The Princess Bride.
Yo,
yeah.
I thought that would come back to me. This is like my wife's
Yeah.
favorite movie. She's gonna be so mad I didn't pick that one.
My wife's favorite movie as well. It's just that classic, like, stay home
It's
sick from
so
school movie.
good.
Like, it is about staying home sick from school.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in his love story. You know, As You Wish, I can never not hear that.
As you wish. Rodents of
Yeah,
unusual
just-
shapes and size.
It's great.
It's just
Such
such a classic. So many funny parts in there. So many things. You know, the man with 6 fingers.
Yep.
Inigo Montoya.
Say that name
the,
again.
The rhyming in the boat.
Yeah, yeah.
Every time somebody starts rhyming, stop rhyming. I mean it. Anybody want a peanut?
Yo, you nailed that. You nailed that. The movie. Oh, Joyce is gonna be so. I thought that would come back to me. I thought that was a
You're
sleeper.
confident in that.
I was very confident.
So
it was
that's
gonna come
what
back.
you referenced to the last pick.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I knew it would come back.
That's
that's such a shame. That's
is
a
a
great
bummer.
pick. Great pick. That's all right.
Because
What's
there's
your,
so much. There's action. There's comedy.
it's got
there's just
everything in it. Everything in it. Everything.
And so many great actors and talent. Like it just, yes.
Have fun storming the castle.
Look, every time I say to the kids whenever they leave,
Yep.
have fun storming the castle. Like, and nobody gets like they look at me like,
Yeah.
It's
Your kids
okay.
don't. Yeah, I don't think my kids would get it either. That's I'm terrible. He's like, I got new too. I'm not left-handed. I'm like, oh no. All right, what's your next one? Great pick.
So now I get number 3, right? Does it come
Yep.
back around one more
Yeah,
time?
you're gonna get one final pick. Yep.
So yeah, so this is, I'm gonna go with the Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy, Nutty
yes.
Professor.
Yes.
Just like he played so many different parts within that movie, and anytime I hear Hercules.
Hercules. Yep. That was a Friday night. We're going to Blockbuster, getting the Nutty Professor, and watching it.
The Nutty Professor. It's not even on my list,
That's
and
great.
it should be.
Yeah, that's nice. It should be
You
on
need
mine
to cleanse
too.
your colon, all
A
right?
nut- Yo, that
that is a
dinner scene.
That is
The grandma- it's too
such a
much.
good pick.
It's too much.
Yes, that was, just kind of
Yo, great pick. Great
a
pick.
lot of laughing in that movie. for
A
sure,
ton of
for
laughing. All right, Justin, your third pick.
All right, this is going to be a different one. The Truman Show.
The Truman Show. Wow, that's really out there.
That is
Yeah,
one
that,
of my.
that was definitely out there. That was not on my list at all.
I loved.
Not-
I don't know why the concept of it was amazing. It did captivate me in a way, and then just the irony of the whole movie, and it comes together. He finds out, that he's in pretty much a simulation
Yeah.
stuff. It's really cool. Good morning, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I love
That's
it.
great.
Never forget it.
That's now. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
You
Jim
didn't take
Carrey, too.
you didn't take it off my list.
That's good.
Good movie, but you didn't take it off my list.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
a
it
Carrey
was-
fan.
that was-
I like Jim.
Obviously. But there's
There's a lot
I'm not
better.
trying to tell you what to do with Jim Carrey, but there are so many better Jim Carrey movies.
I had a couple
Truman
others on
Show.
here, but I liked. I
That
really.
is, that is a really good. Like,
I really like
you
The Truman
forget,
Show.
Like how much was in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's such the concept of it was
It's so
that's
it's so out
Very
there.
bizarre.
It's so out there.
That's a good movie.
The
Good choice.
concept
Thank you.
is way out there. All right, so I have my final 2 picks. I get 2 picks to throw in here, and I'm really kind of stuck. There's some old school cartoons that have like just this spot in my heart that I just
I feel like cartoons should have their own
hold on to
category,
it.
man.
Maybe
hard.
so, but this is movies from our
Yeah,
childhood.
for sure.
And then I have like a couple movies that were like revolutionary, like they changed the industry, but they were like big movies. So I think I'm going with the cartoon, that one that was huge in my life. My favorite Disney character. You know which movie it is, Seth?
Yes, I have it written down here because I was thinking about stealing it from you.
The Goofy
For the sake of stealing it.
movie.
The Goofy
Just to
movie,
take it away.
yeah.
The Goofy
Can't go
movie.
wrong.
The Goofy movie. Sound. You want to talk soundtracks?
Oh, epic.
the best dance moves, the best, and it had Goofy.
Yes.
End of story.
And some cheesy pizza.
The scene like where they go into the swamp. They visit this whatever it is, a little place. I mean, it is such a good.
Yeah.
It's a tearjerker, like especially if you're a dad,
Pulls at
and
your
a kid,
heartstrings. Yeah.
oh,
Yep.
so good. And then
100%.
it gets right back up again, and
It's a beat.
it is.
It's a good symphony.
It could be the number. It's one of those movies where if you've never seen it, you don't know.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance to see it, and we showed it at one of our outdoor events a couple years ago, and the people that first timers sold.
Yep.
Sold. It is, and that was back when Disney didn't have agendas. Like they just put good stuff
Right.
out.
Just put the good stuff out
Yeah,
there. Yeah,
great.
that was-
Sure.
I
That
wrote
was
that
a
one
good time.
down as I know Samuel's going to take this one. Like, I know if he doesn't take this one, I will take it.
You were
for
gonna
him.
steal it
My last
from me.
pick.
So the last one, I'm like, I think I'm gonna go. We're gonna like this is a draft that could go on forever. I'm gonna go with Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Dinosaurs. Jurassic Park was terrifying, fascinating. Like it was like the thriller before thriller, like before you're like allowed to watch thrillers or when that velociraptor, when that little girl's hiding behind a counter and the velociraptor is just stepping towards her. Oh my! Like I can feel the chills right now. Terrifying. Or the scene, like the music again, soundtrack. The music for that thing when they first see the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Oh man, like it is epic movie. So I have to go with Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Love the books. Actually, believe it or not, the books are better than the movie, and I'm not typically that guy.
Right.
Jurassic 2, all the Jurassics are just
all of them.
It's dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I mean,
You can't go
it's
wrong.
hard to go wrong with dinosaurs. All right, so that's
that one is definitely like it brings trauma. Like anytime you see some big, you go to, in a museum or something, you see the big dinosaur, and you're like, is that thing going to come to life?
Yeah, right.
Is it actually going to do what I saw in Jurassic Park?
Yeah,
like
for
that.
real.
Like we don't need to mess around with.
I was
trying to
like,
bring back dinosaurs and recreate.
Can they
these
pull
types of things.
DNA out of this? Like, there's got to be a way to kind of get it out of there. All right, Justin. So let's go with your last and final pick.
All right, so it's very hard to choose that very last one out of the list, especially to expand through the generations. But I'm going to go with a goodie, one of my favorites, Click, with Adam Sandler.
With the remote.
The remote one.
Click. That was a very unique thing.
It was a genius concept behind the movie. As a kid, there's nothing I wanted more as a kid to be able to pause my parents and just like walk away for a minute. You just turn the volume down. Whatever's irritating me, I can just take myself out of that moment, right? So I really
fast forward to this point in life.
That's right, and especially then, I was getting grounded. My mom took my phone away. It was the end of the world. Let me just click to a week from now, or at least till when I convince her I can have it back.
That's
stuff
so
like that.
good.
It was revolutionary for me as a kid. I never got it,
And
but
then also the end of it, like, you don't want to miss any part of life.
dude,
Yeah.
yes,
Right.
the
As much as
ending.
I want to get through that. Like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to miss that.
Yeah, and
that
the
the
build up
one-
just to get to that point was just genius. I love Adam
brilliant.
Sandler.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
Christopher Walken in that? Is he the guy in the Beyond in the Bed Bath and Beyond? Isn't he the guy?
I'm not sure the name. I can't put a face to the name, or else I'd
don't
be able
know.
to confirm.
I
It's a
can see him.
blonde guy, right?
I don't know.
Not sure.
The concept of there's Bed Bath
And Beyond, right? Yeah.
That was probably the best
Oh,
part.
that's the older gentleman with the accent,
So
right?
I'm not trying to bust your picks, but when I think Adam Sandler movies, Click is like down the list.
There's a generation gap here, man.
Again,
I was a kid when that movie came out.
That generational thing comes in.
Right.
Rob?
Christopher Walken.
I was kind of curious.
Christopher Walken is in there as Morty.
Okay, so
Morty.
we do have,
Yeah,
I was
so he
right.
is
Okay,
Morty, yep.
Very good. Thank you for the research.
Yes.
behind the scenes.
Shout out to Mayor Rob.
All right.
That was quick.
Yeah. I mean,
Good turnaround.
I don't know why I remember this movie. Do you remember the dogs barking?
movie you
Music?
remember parts of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. I have to remember because I know I'm not going to watch it again.
What about bedtime
So good
stories?
that. Was that
Bedtime stories is a good one too.
with the movie?
Bedtime story, yeah.
How do you know
Adam
he's not
Sandler.
going to take bedtime stories?
I'm not picking him.
I know why he's not going to take bedtime stories because it's like the
probably never
20th
watched
best
it.
movie that Adam Sandler ever made. All right. Your final pick, the final pick of our very first draft. They're super long podcasts that hopefully people are still hanging in there for.
Yes,
What's the
appreciate you guys.
final?
This is so tough coming up with the last pick because there's so many great movies that
I know.
didn't get named. So many that
We'll do
that
some
were
honorable
taken.
mentions for
Yeah.
sure.
This for me is a movie that like Samuel, you I think this will pull your heartstrings a little bit. Is The Man from Snowy River.
The Man from
If you've never seen The Man from Snowy River,
Okay.
it's based in Australia. It's a young man who raising horses, training horses, breaking horses with his dad. His dad ends up getting they're trying to catch a wild stallion, and dad gets killed. But there's this one scene in the movie. This young man is there's a bunch of other farmers with horses, and I mean horses have been a huge part of our life.
Yeah,
like,
we
just
just
a
saw,
favorite of ours growing up. So a little bit of the heartstring on that.
A little cowboy action going. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this guy, these other farmers are like trying to catch these horses and trying to whatever. And so he's kind of going as a young man of all the farmers. He's trying to go get this horse out of these wild horses, and they're chasing. There's probably 10, 15, 20 guys chasing these horses, and they all stop because the horses go running down this steep cliff. And this young guy takes his horse, and he's just leaning all the way back, and it's this slow-mo run down.
I remember
the
that
hill,
scene that you're telling me.
chasing
Yep.
the horses. All of a sudden, they're running through snow, and you're like, "Where are they? What is this world?" It was just like wow, I want to be that guy riding a horse down the mountain, going after seeing all of these horses running up and down. Like, and then I had a chance when I was in on ministry team for a year. We went to Australia and we actually drove through the place where they filmed the Man from Snowy River.
Way.
So a little bit multi-level within that, but great movie, classic, 1982, I think.
Oh my
like that when it came
goodness!
Out. Like,
I'll
so
tell you,
just way back, like.
that's not going to be a vote getter, but that is a great movie.
No,
I do remember.
Definitely an obscure movie. A
Very
lot of people
obscure.
will not know it, but that scene is stuck in my mind forever. Just chasing the horses. I just want to ride horses.
You mentioned it. I remember that scene for sure. So we got a pretty broad list going on here. There's a few movies that we have to give honorable mentions to that I'm sure are on you guys' list. Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, that was
1,000%. I struggled with that one. Let's go with like some classic Disney mid-90s, The Lion King, Aladdin.
King.
Like they definitely deserve a shout out.
Yeah.
You said Bug's Life.
Bugs
yeah.
Life.
Again,
I loved it.
You
Tarzan
Bug's Life?
had one of the.
Bug's Life and Toy Story. Like,
Toy Story's on the list too?
Right there.
Yeah.
And then, you're going with, the Mighty Ducks. The
Mighty
Yep.
Ducks, yeah.
Mighty Ducks is on the original. Got to asterisk, put that the
Jack
original.
Frost.
I was like, Jack Frost, another great,
Such a good movie.
great
That'll
one.
tug at your heart.
Yeah, we can go right at
Home Alone.
Home
Home Alone.
was
Yes.
a movie that I went and watched in the theater that I was not allowed, kind of.
Is this new? Is it? They knew about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it was for a birthday party. And I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
But it was, that's
Best
that
thing
is
ever.
childhood right there.
How about Karate Kid?
Karate Kid, that was on my list too.
Karate Kid, yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite. That one came a little bit later on. That one.
Yeah, I'm like, it's hard because it's not childhood for me.
Oh, you know what? That's that's like the 2010s.
It came a little bit later.
2008.
It might be, it's early. I think it's mid 2000s. Napoleon Dynamite. But the problem with that
It's
one is,
probably
love it or hate it.
Probably early.
Like there's no people that tolerate it.
Yeah, there's no in between. It's either you love it or you
I had
hate
to watch
it.
it twice.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone says, watch it twice. Because you watch it once thinking something's going to happen. You watch it a second time just for what it is.
Yeah.
And it is
pick it up,
hilarious.
Yeah.
What else?
Tarzan.
Another great
Phil
one.
Collins
The
went
cartoon.
hard on that soundtrack.
Is it the cartoon, right?
The cartoon,
Yeah,
yes.
the cartoon Tarzan.
Yeah.
Back to the
Think
Future.
about,
Ooh, Back to the
you
Future.
got Back to the Future. You got
All the Back to the
the
Futures.
Robin Williams Hook.
Yes, it was right there. I was getting ready to say it. That was. I was trying to decide between that one or my last pick. I could not figure out. Hook was the best. When he realizes that he is Peter Pan, that scene is epic. And they're throwing colored mashed potatoes all over the place. So such a good movie.
Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck. I had that on my written list. I didn't type that one out, but that is another great one.
And Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
And you can even go Dumb and Dumber too.
The other thing too, when you're putting together
the original Top Gun, there's so many. It was so hard to go through, like realizing all this stuff. Like a lot of these movies, I didn't necessarily catch while we were growing up.
Correct.
We got a little older, more college when we started to catch up on some of these things, and it's like, wow, those are some good movies.
The other thing you end up doing too is when you start going through these movies, or like what we've done as parents is go back and show our kids these movies. And then you're like, oh, I don't remember seeing that when I was a kid. Like,
yes.
There's so many innuendos and little things they
when
throw.
you watch the Goonies and you're like, oh, I watched the TV version.
Goonies is on my
It's
list
on my
too.
list too.
That's exactly why I didn't say it, because I wouldn't want. So if you're out there and you're going through our list and you're like, yes, I can't believe they put that on there. We're putting on the TNT like back before it was allowed, like on cable everything was decent. Like you cut out all the bad stuff. These are the versions of the movies that we're putting out there. We're not putting the DVD,
anything bad, anything
the
we
version,
didn't
the VHS version of these movies.
VHS version,
Mayor Rob, you got anything special? Anything that we missed that you're like this has to be on there?
This necessarily wasn't a childhood movie, but in like my teen years, I kind of became enlightened to it. But Rocky was a big one for me. Big Rocky fan.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, they're definitely the Rocky movies. All the Rocky movies. Of course, we're Philadelphia area out here.
Outstanding.
That is
Never go against Rocky.
Well, we do have to wrap this up eventually. As much as I could keep this thing going all day long, we just keep
go
going
for days.
So let's find out, Justin. What did you learn on this episode?
Apparently, I need to kind of get better decision making when it comes to my Adam Sandler movies.
Yes, 1,000%.
Either that or there's just too much of an age gap where like my liking
Happy
is too
Gilmore,
childish.
like you
This is
name
where
it.
the Gen X millennial.
That's where it comes
Big
into
Daddy,
play. Yep.
like there's so many better movies.
And that's
out
what
there.
makes it so hard. It's like, yeah, but Click was genius compared to Big Daddy. Like Big Daddy was great.
Oh, no, Big
Love
Daddy
it.
was
Amazing
genius.
movie. Hard to compare.
Scuba Steve.
But he didn't have a remote that took him back and forward.
No, he did not. He
We're
actually
stuck.
he had to learn how to be a dad. That's revolutionary.
He got to see how fat he got in the future, how bad everything went, and then he woke up.
and then just like that. Seth, did you learn anything this episode?
I think I learned that I was surprised that you didn't recall the man from Snowy River. So that was a little surprising. The things that stand out in our brains a little bit different.
I can't believe
I could tell Justin about the horse collections he used to have. The
Yep.
Briar horses.
He's
the
a
barn.
beautiful horse collection.
Yeah.
Probably would be worth something now if I never messed with them. Yeah, we had some great things going on. Mayor Rob, you got anything you learned today?
I did not know that you played baseball.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
I was decent. It just was such a boring game to me. Like, it was like if I wasn't pitching, I was like,
Stop
I
recording.
don't care
Stop
about this
recording.
game. I was basketball through
That
and
was why
through.
catcher was my favorite position in baseball.
Yeah,
Catcher, yeah.
because you're in it on every single play.
Literally, yeah.
The problem with playing catchers, they keep throwing the ball at you. I'm like, you gotta get there. And I learned that my brother was jealous of my props, so when we came out, he had to throw his own props out
Matching
there.
up.
That's good. Well, hey, if
I
you
brought the original John Deere tractor with me. So
right, so I learned that I value the gift from my grandfather more than my brother does, because that one's
Hiding
sitting
in a
away.
box somewhere.
It's
To hide it away.
It's in the glass box. You know, it's in our office.
I don't
It's
know.
in the-
We might have to get a poll on that. Two
It's
different
in the- it's
perspectives.
in the
Is it
glass
taking
box.
care of it or is it hiding it away?
No, it's
Let us know what you think.
in the office. You have to come and visit. So
I display it like Grandpa displayed it. Just keep it out.
Oh,
Just
it's
put it out
that
there.
one. I know. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
So
you
it's
know
visible.
exactly now.
It's visible.
It is.
All right, I take that
1000%.
back. We are not doing a poll.
1000%
Now you learned
visible.
that again.
Here we
It's
go.
all there. So if you're listening to this podcast, you've put it in this much time to listen to it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Go online. Go to our socials. Go to Making Light of It on Instagram, on Facebook, and vote. Vote for which one of us has.
Yep.
This is bragging rights. Please don't take mercy on Justin because he doesn't know what
Nope.
a good movie is.
Yeah.
And please don't have mercy on my brother because he's just popping in on this. Make the right choice. Pick
the right
mine.
thing.
And then everything will be good from there.
Hey, YouTube as well. YouTube.
And I'm
we're-
You can watch on
curious,
YouTube.
I wonder, those who have been listening so far and they haven't seen it, they haven't seen me on the video, do they recognize that our voices are enough difference that it's not you trying to act as somebody else?
Like I'm sandbagging the
would be a
draft.
sick joke, yeah.
Like, Samuel has 2 picks, double the pick. How did he do this?
I still remember. I forget which. It was probably Kai because she was older than, like, freaking out over the phone, hearing my voice over the phone because it sounded just like you.
That's
I will
funny.
never forget that moment. Well, that's enough. That's plenty. Please like, share, subscribe, all those things. And thank you so much for listening. I'm Sam.
I'm Justin.
That's my brother Seth. He's making motions right now, not really in a podcast. You have to say words. And then
Said some words.
and then Mayor Rob in the background.
Hey, Rob.
Hello.
And we are making light of it. God bless.
God bless you guys.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Making Light of It. Please connect with us on Instagram and Facebook. You can find the links in the description of this episode. We would love to hear from you. Please feel free to email us at makinglightofitpod@gmail.com. And remember to like, share, or subscribe so you'll be notified when the next podcast is uploaded. Thank you, and as always, God bless.